Okay, thank you for staying tuned. It's still talking business. Now, before we get into Forex scarcity, let's quickly take a look at capital market reports. Now, so yesterday, transactions on the Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX) sustained a sliding profile. Now, the slide was occasioned by losses in Japan Gold and 20 others, as market's capitalization depreciated further by 51 billion naira. Now, specifically at the close of trading yesterday, all-share index declined by 95.37%, representing a decline of 0.2% to close at 47,156.56 points. Now, let's look at the top gainers and the top closers. We have 4 top losers, those who lost a little bit of money in terms of the price. Japan Gold and Ventures led the top losers. Champion Breweries, AXA Manzat, Regency Alliance Insurance. And then for top gainers, we have NPF Microfinance Bank, FCMB Group, CHAMS, and UACN. So, that's how it was yesterday at the end of trading. But to look further into that, I've got a Forex and stock market broker in the studio today. Use Obimo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me around.
It's always a pleasure. So how's trading going? It's been like week to week. Even though you have lots of tradings, you still have like losses, either by profit takeouts and share depreciation.
Well, the market has been more of gainers and losers. That's the way the market is naturally built.
Okay.
People are entering into the market.
Okay.
Some are taking profit. Some are taking losses.
Okay.
But on the long run, we're looking at the market in general. It's been more like kind of a bearish sentiment because of a lot of factors that are currently happening. Like the fundamentals that we normally talk about, which is civil unrest, war, and conflicts can actually affect the stock market and even the Forex market as well. So these are some of the implications that we're currently, facing in the market. So definitely the market will react to some of these sentiments. So at the end of the day, we're going to have gainers and losers. But on the long run, it has been more of a bearish sentiment.
Well, bearish sentiment, not too good. We're looking for bullish.
It can't always be bullish.
We're looking for bullish. For every investor, your prayer is bullish. It should be bullish otherwise, so that you can have that confidence and you could have more gain, return on your investment.
Yes,
but the capital markets most times in Nigeria doesn't really get to be bullish.
It depends on the sector per se.
Okay. Some sectors do enjoy bullish.
Yes.
Banking sector.
Yeah, banking sector. That's why I said depends on the sector. Like the financial sector, which is the banking sector, they're always cashing out.
Yes.
Every time because of the nature of their business. They're always transacting business irrespective of the economic challenges and all that. Because people will definitely buy and sell.
Yes.
Definitely handle cash. So that is it. Well, for the manufacturing sector, yes, they might have a little bit of drawback because of so many factors.
Yes.
I don't know if we should go into...
Yeah, we should get into that, really, because the manufacturing sector seems to be worst hit by Forex scarcity, which brings us mainly to our topic for discussion today. Now, they've been complaining about Forex scarcity, that to add to the problems that they have to deal with rise and scarcity of diesel, they also having a shortage in availability of Forex.
Yes, they are hit because of the fact that they are dependent on Forex.
Yes.
Like Nigeria, for example, we depend a lot on importation, and sometimes some of these raw materials are not readily available in the country. So they need access to Forex so that they can be able to purchase some of these raw materials before they start producing. Now, I was reading the latest report by Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, where they said that the capital importation in Nigeria just dropped by 30% as against what was recorded in
comparing 2020 and 2021.
Yes, the reason is this, which is about reduction from $9.78 billion to $6.7 billion. So resulting to approximately 31% drop in capital importation. And one of the reasons why we're having this shortfall is because of the fact that a lot of investors are scared that their money are getting trapped in naira, and they cannot be able to kind of like exchange the naira to dollar and repatriate funds back, to their country. So these are some of the sentiments that are affecting the manufacturing sector.
Okay.
And some of these manufacturing sectors are also complaining of high rates. Just imagine, I was reading an article where a manufacturer said he wrote to the bank that he needed about $425,000. Then at the end of the day, bank replied him back and told him that they can only give him $200.
No, that's ridiculous.
Just imagine that. So he has to go and source for Forex at an exorbitant price to source for Forex.
Okay, but the question is, if the bank doesn't have enough Forex to give to you, where does those at the parallel market have Forex that they're selling?
That's the Nigerian factor. You see, one thing, on this program we talked about some of these policies and how well they are being monitored. One thing is to bring out a policy. Another thing is to ensure that it is properly enforced and they are playing by the rules. Okay, imagine a situation, even the CBN, they know that as at this time that they're able cutting spending on ATM cards, like MasterCards, on POS from, it was initially at $500 per month. Now they reduced it to $100, and now they have reduced it to $20 and $50. Now imagine,
so that means it has to be a petty trade you want to do.
What can you actually do with $20? As at this time when they are cutting the limit, the automated clearing house in the US just increased their own from $100,000 to $1 million. So at the end of the day, you see now that people that are actually doing business with Forex are finding it very, very difficult and suffocating to actually get access. Now the question now is, one of the reasons why they said they stopped selling Forex to BDCs and
operators
to the bank is at the end of the day defeated, because the BDCs still have access to the dollars, but an exorbitant rate because they have to go and source. So the whole thing is kind of like the system. We still have a systematic error in the whole process because it is not well monitored. So that's why at the end of the day, you write to the bank and the bank will tell you that they don't have Forex to give to you. Now the question now is, where are the BDCs, where are they getting this Forex to buy? So that is it. That's the problem. Okay,
while we have that question answered, let's look at some efforts by the central bank to actually make Forex available. We had the policy of the $5 for Naira. The dollar for Naira policy to encourage diaspora remittance so that there'll be more Forex to actually show up the deficit that we were having. Now, other policies have also come to play so that Forex will be available. But is it like there's so much demand on Forex, that's why it's never enough?
Before now, we've never really had issues of Forex scarcity. Now, the problem, this is my own personal opinion though, the problem starts from some of these policies. The policies that are coming. Now you're telling us 5 naira per dollar. If you remit funds, back to, at the end of the day, these were not long-term strategies.
They were
just
just like a
short-term, just policy. Like palliative to kind of like see how they can actually control the liquidity of Forex, in the market and make it readily available. But the truth is, you don't solve a problem from the top. You start from the bottom. Now, how did we get here? That's the first question. Look at the policies that have been made over time. Now you're restricting, what do you expect? I don't work with BDC, but BDC has been in operation for quite a long time. Now you're saying, that you don't want to sell a Forex to BDC, that you have to come and write through the bank, which of course before now we never had a teller point of dollar remittance at the bank. Now these BDCs has customers. Of course they will want to satisfy their customer. So fine, the CBN had reasons for doing that, but at the end of the day, it's not really achieving results, thereby suffocating the system and making the system, no matter the pressure is much. Fine, manufacturers need these dollars, this Forex. International student needs it. So a lot of persons need this Forex. So it's just for the CBN to come back to the table, look at some of these policies, see how some of them can be better regulated instead of just like killing one system to bring up another system. And some of these theories, have they really practiced them before?
Okay, now let's look at correcting the systemic error you talked about. Now, some persons are advocating right now, particularly manufacturers, for the CBN to begin to sell Forex to BDCs. Would that solve the problem?
We are still returning back to where we're coming from.
Yes, if we return back to where we're coming from, would that solve the problem?
It should, partially, because we are highly dependent on Forex in this country because we are not manufacturing.
Okay.
That is the genesis of this problem. Everything we do in this country is solely on importation. All our manufacturing sector is centered on importation.
Okay.
So no matter how you put it,
so it's more or less an assemblage.
Yes. No matter how you put it, you would still need a lot of avenues to actually bring this dollar, to encourage this Forex from entering into the country so that it will be readily available. Yes. Cutting off some of these channels from operating, like preventing them from bringing Forex into the country, it will still backfire because at the end of the day, the demand is high. And when demand is high, you can do nothing about it. The price will definitely jack up. So the demand is one of the reasons why we're actually having Naira being bearish against the US dollars and stuff like that. That will keep having escalated prices because whoever that have might not readily want to sell at a cheap rate because it was not easy for him to get it at the first place.
And they may even be hoarding.
Definitely. See, these are some of the issues. In Forex trading, it's all about buying cheap and selling high. So hoarding will be encouraged. It's a natural phenomenon. So, but when it is readily available, you see the rate will be fixed. It will not necessarily be fixed, but the rate will be flexible.
Okay.
And the increment or fluctuation we experience in market will now depend on demand and supply. When the supply is excess, as at some couple of years ago, what was Forex scarcity? It's now becoming something, very, very new.
That has lingered for
quite some years now. And at the end of the day, it's affecting manufacturing. And when they buy high, they come, okay, diesel scarcity, diesel is on the high side, production is on the high side. Then you expect them to produce something at the end of the day, sell cheap. The price will definitely jack up, thereby encouraging inflation in the system.
Now, it's not just manufacturers that are hit by this, but they seem to be worst hit. What other businesses are really affected by Forex scarcity?
Now, the truth is, when we are experiencing issues like this, there is a sentiment that is sent out. This is an economical factor. Now, what is the sentiment? It does not send a good sentiment to foreign investors because at the end of the day, no investor would want to put money where the economy is not stable or a situation where the economy is dwindling. Are you getting the point now? So that is just it. It is still systematic factor, like I earlier said, and for our economy to be vibrant. Because at the end of the day, if the economy is not working, nothing will work. And it will still keep putting pressure on the Nigerian naira. At the end of the day, maybe in a couple of months now, with the way the naira is falling, you will hear now the CBN wants to pad the naira by injecting funds into the Forex market.
They were doing that for some time, but it didn't really yield much results.
That is still the issue. So we still need to go back and make the economy work, make it stable, give the economy policies that it can breathe, not suffocating the economy and making business hard for everybody's affected. You go to the market tomorrow and they will tell you that dollar has gone up, that Gary, price of Gary. So I start wondering what's the effect of, you see, because the price of oil is on the high side. Diesel is on the high side. And you see, a lot of companies are even threatening that they might even lay off some of their staff because they are not able to pay. Because of the system, the cost of production is on the high side.
So, from what you're saying now, it depends on the CBN to regulate.
They have to
regulate.
Yes, they have to go
the issue of Forex so that it can be made available.
There's nothing an ordinary man can do. They are the economists. They are the one in charge of the economy. So they should go back, see how they can bring policies that will make this system work. At the end of the day, you see that this so-called Forex scarcity will be a thing of the past.
What about having multiple rates? Is that also an issue?
As in introducing multiple rates?
We've always had multiple rates in Nigeria. There's never been a unified rate. Addressing the issue of multiple rates, is that also a factor in the naira depreciating and having the parallel market sell so high and it's not even really easy for you to get at the bank?
It still boils down to demand and supply.
Okay.
It still boils down to demand and supply.
So that would check it.
Yes. When the system is suffocated, at the end of the day, you definitely have multiple rates.
Okay.
But a situation where we have surplus, it's now become a game of competition.
Okay. So if you go here,
if your rate is too high, I can actually get a lesser rate from another person.
Okay.
So that's the way it is. So the system, there should be surplus of Forex in the system to actually curb this problem.
Okay. All right, we do hope that the central bank, which is the apex bank in Nigeria, the regulator of the financial system, will look into the issue of forex scarcity so that ease of doing business can be guaranteed, or at least assured to a good extent in Nigeria. Manufacturers are hit, other businesses that depend on forex are actually hit as well. So we hope to see that happen. Thank you, Usel Bimo, for coming on the show and giving us insights into forex scarcity as well as capital markets trading for the week. And so that's been the show today. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Blessing AJ. Now go on and enjoy your weekend.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.